It used to be a time when R&B music really meant something. A time when you got romance and sweet singing. Now, romantic music really never went anywhere, but it's often overshadowed by music that leaves nothing to the imagination. During the 70s, this group was all over the charts, and today I'm going to tell you a story about one of Philadelphia's best soul groups. The centerpiece of today's video is all about the Delfonics. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. The story begins with William Hart singing in several groups, including Little Heart and the Everglows, the Veltones, the Four Guys, and the Four Gents. Some of these early groups consisted of William and Wilbur Hart, Richie Daniels, Randy Kane, Jimmy Roten, Stan Lathan, and Donald Cannon, who all met at Overbrook High School in the 60s. In 1964, William Hart and his brother Wilbert created a group that included Randy Kane and Richie Daniels. After Daniels joined the military, he was replaced by vocalist Ricky Johnson. Johnson eventually left the group, and that left the original trio of the Hart brothers and Randy Kane, who went on to become the Orphonics.
We had a group called the Veltones, and Randy Kane was in the group. I had a group called the Monterey's. Their group broke up, and my group broke up. So let's do something together.
The trio came up with this name from a stereophonic machine that the Harts had in their basement. In 1965, William was working at a local barbershop in Philly when Stan Watson, a Cameo Parkway Records employee, stopped by. William started singing and playing his guitar to tunes that he previously written. Watson liked what he heard and got William in touch with Thom Bell, a young talented producer and arranger on the same label.
Stan used to come there to get his hair done a lot, right? So I'm playing my guitar, and he turns around and said, "Oh, this dude can sing."
Stan had a record shop, I had a record shop, so you could get the pulse of the community. What I found out in my record shop that 95% of my customers were females.
Stan Watson was a hustler. He used to sell suits out the trunk of his car.
He wanted to become our manager. And it was fine with us because we were trying to get some records out there.
He said, "I want to introduce you to somebody." So he took me to Cameo Parkway to meet Thom Bell.
He said, "Bell, can you produce records?" You're kidding. Come on, man. You know, you're talking to the _1 producer. I know nothing about producing records. That's not the point, though. So William Hart said, "Man, I write." I said, "Yeah, I write a little bit, too. Let's try together, get together and write."
Following the pairing with Bell, the group name was changed to the Delfonics. The group's first record was named He Don't Really Love You. And this was a song that William played in a barbershop that got the group noticed. This song was released by Moonshot Records in August of 1966. The trio released a new song titled You're Being Untrue.
Well, baby, I still.
With the group now under Bell's supervision, they produce a distinct sound that can't be duplicated. When you hear the Delfonics music, you are truly listening to the essence of Philly soul. Cameo Parkway Records collapsed at the end of 1967. This prompted Watson to launch his own label called Philly Groove Records. With a fresh start with a new label, Bell and William wrote the group's first breakout single, La La Means I Love You.
All I know is la 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 la.
This song immediately became a timeless classic. Now, did you know that William was inspired to compose a song by his son. The story goes that his son couldn't say I love you, so he kept saying la la la. This is where William got the inspiration for the title song and the chorus.
My son, he used to always wake up and say la 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 la.
And he would carry me around and like, yo, I can't believe, you believe? Listen to him. He's not saying dad. He's saying la 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 la. What is he trying to tell me?
And then I thought, I said, wow, la la means I love you.
The group's debut album, La 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 Means I Love You, was released on May 14th, 1968, and peaked at number 100 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 15 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. Now, this album had 3 successful singles with I'm Sorry,
And never mind what they say, never mind what they do.
and Break Your Promise.
When you told me that you love me.
The group's popularity continued that following year with the release of the single Ready or Not.
Gonna love you and make you love me.
Bell produced 3 additional albums for the group, beginning with Sound of Sexy Soul in 1969 that peaked at 155 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 8 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. The 1970 self-entitled album that peaked at number 61 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 4 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. This album gave us one hit single titled Didn't I?
It seems to make you laugh each time I cry.
And lastly, the 1972 album Tell Me This a Dream that peaked at 123 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 15 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. This album also had one hit single with the title song. William and Bell wrote all of the songs for the Delfonics for the first 3 albums, and after that connection with Bell, the group soon encountered money shortages with the label owner, and as soon as Bell got wind of this, he quickly withdrew from the label and moved on to produce for other groups, such as the Stylistics and the Spinners.
We got one check for $7,500 a piece for La La Means I Love You. And Stan didn't pay us no more after that.
Stan's answer to that was, you guys make your money on the road. Don't worry about the sales of the record.
We used to ride around in a 16-passenger van, right? Stan Watson had a chauffeur, Rolls Royce.
We didn't know what publishing was. We didn't know what points was. We didn't know anything but natural entertainment.
It's an old trick. An old trick. Somebody else takes the tune, they publish it, and you don't know. Neither one of us knew.
Until one day, when Thom Bell confronted Watson head on.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about? Well, let me tell you real quick. I'm black, not retarded. So I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave this situation right now before you wind up in jail or you wind up in a hospital. And so I quit. I was sorry to leave them, but I couldn't be around that character.
Allegedly, Randy left the group before the group's 4th album due to him falling in love with a woman and putting their relationship before business, leaving vocalist Major Harris taking his place. Another saying is that Randy suffered a mental breakdown, which caused him to leave the group.
California. And he just had a mental breakdown. He was acting strange. He would be walking off the stage while we were performing. We should have handled it a little different looking back. You know, we should have been more supportive of Randy at that time.
But Major locked with those brothers. He held his own.
He fit like a glove. He even wore the same size shoes Randy wore. He even wore the same size coat.
Randy could sing, but Major, it worked out beautiful, you know. Major was a perfect replacement, you know, and everybody loved him.
Randy was also a significant factor in the formation of the band Blue Magic. Without Bell, the group's career collapsed, with the exception of a few breakout singles such as Will You Get Down Right to It,
For you, with you.
I Don't Want to Make You Wait,
Even concentrate, and I don't
I Told You So,
You tried to leave me and you never go.
Hey Love,
You know we need each other.
and Lying to Myself. In 1974, the group released the album Alive and Kicking It. That peaked at 205 on the Billboard 200 charts and number 34 on the Billboard Top R&B Albums charts. Between the years of 1981 and 2005, the group published 3 albums. Harris launched his solo career with Atlantic Records in late 1974. The Hart brothers began to battle very often, and they had major disagreements, which what drove a force into the group splitting apart. Around 1984, the group was split into 2. One was led by Wilbur Hart and the other by William.
He actually told me, don't write. Let me get everything out of my head first, and then you start writing. You're gonna mess up the Delfonics sound.
My brother's a writer, I'm a writer. He writes great songs, but I wrote the songs that was suitable for the Delfonics.
It wasn't pleasant being with him because it was always an argument. So I felt better, kind of like, we can separate, everything will be good. You use the name, I use the name.
They had a brief reunion in the 90s when Randy Kane and Major Harris joined them, but they soon split up again. The trio music was heavily included into the Quentin Tarantino's film Jackie Brown. In 1995, the group was inducted into the Philadelphia Music Alliance Walk of Fame. Randy Kane, who was just 63 years old, was found dead in his home on April 9th, 2009. In 2006, the group received the Rhythm and Blues Foundation Pioneer Award. Major Harris passed away at the age of 65 on November 9th, 2012. And in 2022, the Hart brothers, they came together to celebrate their 55th year in the music industry. The group original member William Hart sadly passed away on July 14th, 2022 at the age of 77. Wilbert, his brother, is the sole remaining original member. As of 2022, Wilbert and his version of the Delfonics continue to perform, as well as William's version, who is known as William Hart's Delfonics. Now, to my knowledge, allegedly the brothers were still at odds at the time of William's death, and unfortunately, the two never made amends. William Hart worked with hip-hop legend Rick Ross on the song Here For You in 2005.
While I'm yawning, you roll over on daddy, climb on it, grab a fresh fruit.
Now, many musicians sampled and covered various of songs from the group, most notably Ready or Not by the Fugees in 1996.
But no, don't weep. Why Clef's in a state of sleep, thinking about the robbery that I did last week.
And Didn't I by Millie Jackson, to name a few.
That's no lie, but it seemed to make it.
The Delfonics was among the first groups to sing this sophisticated, soulful manner that became established and dubbed as Philadelphia Soul. The Delfonics are unquestionably one of the greatest groups to ever come out of the Philly Soul era. Every one of their songs were created based on personal experience, which is why they all struck home.